Have you ever wondered why some people seem to hold all the power in their relationships, while others struggle to find even a glimpse of control? What if the key to true influence doesn't come from brute force or dominance, but from understanding something deeper, something hidden in what others call weakness? Imagine unlocking a new kind of strength, one that doesn't rely on intimidation, but flows from wisdom and insight. This strength comes from seeing what most overlook, from embracing what society calls vulnerabilities and turning them into your greatest advantage. When we hear the word weakness, it triggers a powerful reaction inside us. It stirs fears. Fear of being seen as less, fear of losing respect, fear of losing control. But what if I told you that what we call weakness is often the doorway to a secret kind of power? What if recognizing these traits not only makes you smarter, but gives you the upper hand in every interaction, every conversation, and every decision? This isn't about manipulation or taking advantage in a cruel way. It's about understanding human nature on a deeper level. It's about mastering the game by knowing the rules others don't see. You deserve to see the world with new eyes, eyes that don't judge but understand. Because once you truly understand the subtle dynamics at play, you begin to feel an unstoppable confidence growing inside you. You stop guessing what's going on beneath the surface. You stop doubting your instincts. You become the one who leads, who influences, who shapes outcomes. This knowledge will give you clarity in situations that once confused you, and courage when hesitation once held you back. By the end of this, you will possess insights that most never gain, the kind of wisdom that shifts your entire approach to relationships and life. You'll discover how traits often misunderstood or underestimated are actually clues to unlocking influence. These are not weaknesses to fear, but powerful signals to embrace. They are keys to deeper connection and control, keys you can wield with integrity and strength. This journey will reveal truths about emotional sensitivity, the craving for approval, the search for security, and many other hidden dynamics. You will see how these elements shape choices and behaviors. You will learn how to use this knowledge to build stronger relationships, to lead with empathy, and to command respect without forcing it. Imagine the peace that comes with understanding, the thrill that comes with control, and the power that comes with wisdom. Right now, you stand at a crossroads. One path leads to confusion, frustration, and missed opportunities. The other path leads to mastery, confidence, and real influence. The choice is yours. Step forward with courage. Let go of old fears. Embrace a new way of seeing and being. When you grasp these truths, you won't just survive, you will thrive. This is your chance to claim the upper hand and to own the strength that lies beneath what others call weakness. Don't turn away from it. Lean in. The power is waiting for you. Emotional sensitivity is often dismissed as a weakness, but it holds an extraordinary power that most fail to recognize. It's the ability to feel deeply, to pick up on the smallest shifts in mood and energy, to understand what's not being said as much as what is. This sensitivity is a form of emotional intelligence, a superpower that allows someone to connect on a level others cannot. When you understand this, you realize that emotional sensitivity isn't about fragility, it's about awareness. It creates a bridge between hearts, a channel for influence that goes beyond words. This trait reveals something profound. Beneath what seems like vulnerability lies a deep intuition. It's a radar that detects truth and unspoken needs, a gift that, if respected, opens doors to meaningful connection. But here's the truth. You don't have to be emotionally sensitive yourself to harness this power. By recognizing and respecting this trait in others, you gain a strategic advantage. You learn how to communicate in ways that resonate, how to approach with empathy, and how to inspire trust without forcing it. This knowledge turns emotional sensitivity from an obstacle into a tool that can guide your actions with precision. Knowing this, you can navigate interactions with confidence. When someone's emotions run high, instead of reacting with frustration or confusion, you respond with calm clarity. You become the steady force they unconsciously seek, the presence that soothes uncertainty and draws openness. This isn't about being manipulative. It's about mastering the art of connection through genuine understanding. Emotional sensitivity becomes a compass that guides your leadership, helping you build rapport and influence quietly but powerfully. Most people fear emotions because they seem unpredictable, uncontrollable. But when you learn to see emotional sensitivity as a signal, not a threat, you change the game. You start to anticipate needs before they're spoken. You read between the lines and move with intention. This creates a magnetic presence, someone others want to be around, someone who holds space without judgment, someone who commands respect through empathy. That magnetic pull is the beginning of influence that feels natural and authentic. When you accept this truth, it frees you from the false belief that power requires toughness alone. Real power embraces softness and strength together. It understands that vulnerability is not a flaw but a doorway. By seeing emotional sensitivity clearly, you position yourself to lead with heart and mind united. This balance inspires loyalty and opens doors that brute force can never unlock. You deserve to wield this insight, to stand tall in your ability to connect deeply and wisely. When you do, relationships shift, tensions ease, and influence grows effortlessly. This is the hidden advantage that transforms everyday interactions into opportunities for growth and leadership. You're not just reacting to emotions, you're guiding them, channeling their energy to build something greater. This is your edge, your path to true mastery. Let this awareness sink in. Feel the power in understanding emotional sensitivity, not as a weakness, but as a profound source of connection and influence. When you own this knowledge, you're not just stronger, you're unstoppable. Approval is one of the most fundamental human needs, yet it often goes unnoticed in its power to shape behavior. The desire to be accepted, liked, and validated runs deep, especially in how many women navigate the world. This drive is not a weakness. It is a window into motivation, a guide to understanding how choices are made. Recognizing this craving for approval gives you a rare advantage. It shows you where influence begins and how respect is truly earned. When you grasp that approval is a form of currency in relationships, you see interactions in a new light. It explains why people sometimes bend their own will just to keep peace or avoid rejection. This is not about weakness or lack of strength, but a survival mechanism rooted in connection and belonging. If you learn to offer genuine respect and clear boundaries, you create an environment where approval is given freely, not demanded. This creates trust, and trust is the foundation of any lasting influence. Your own confidence becomes the key to commanding approval without begging for it. When you act from a place of certainty and self-respect, you send a message that you are not seeking validation, but offering value. This flips the dynamic. Instead of chasing approval, you become the person others want to approve of. This subtle shift rewires relationships and elevates your standing. You stop being caught in the exhausting cycle of trying to please and start leading with authenticity. Knowing this truth allows you to read beyond surface-level interactions. You begin to notice when approval-seeking shapes decisions, when people say yes out of fear or habit rather than true agreement. This insight empowers you to ask better questions, to listen deeper, and to respond with clarity that breaks through confusion. It lets you guide conversations toward honesty and alignment. This is where real respect grows, when approval is not blind, but earned through understanding and integrity. The craving for approval also reveals a powerful truth about boundaries. When someone seeks constant acceptance, it often signals blurred lines between their needs and others. This is your opportunity to hold space firmly. By setting clear expectations and standing unwavering in your values, you provide the stability they subconsciously seek. This is not about control, but about creating a safe container where mutual respect thrives. Your strength becomes the anchor in uncertain waters. This dynamic works both ways. Your ability to give approval thoughtfully and with intention builds loyalty and openness. People respond not to commands, but to recognition that feels sincere. When approval becomes a tool of encouragement rather than manipulation, it unlocks potential in others and in yourself. You inspire growth and cooperation that lasts because it is built on trust, not fear or obligation. Embrace this awareness deeply. The need for approval is not a vulnerability to exploit, but a force to understand and respect. When you master this, you gain influence that feels effortless yet profound. You move from being reactive to being the one who shapes interactions with clarity and heart. Your presence commands attention because it is grounded in authenticity and strength. This is your power, the power to transform approval from a trap into a bridge. When you wield it wisely, you hold the upper hand not by force, but through connection, respect, and unshakable confidence. Let this truth settle in, and watch how your relationships shift as you lead with this newfound insight. Security and stability are more than just desires. They are fundamental human needs that shape how choices are made and how trust is built. For many women, this need runs especially deep, creating a lens through which they view the world. Understanding this instinct not only sharpens your awareness, but also becomes a tool for creating stronger bonds and clearer influence. When you offer stability, you become the calm center in a chaotic world, a refuge that others naturally gravitate toward. This longing for safety is not a sign of weakness, but a testament to the deep wisdom of self-preservation. It signals a preference for predictability, consistency, and reliability. When this need is met, it nurtures confidence and loyalty. When ignored, it breeds uncertainty and withdrawal. Recognizing this dynamic gives you an edge in relationships, business, and life. You learn where to invest your energy, how to build trust, and how to offer support without losing your own strength. Offering security means creating an environment where expectations are clear and actions match words. It means standing firm in your values while remaining flexible in your approach. This balance is the foundation of true stability. People feel safe not because everything is perfect, but because they trust the person leading them will navigate uncertainty with strength and clarity. This trust is a form of power, quiet, steady, and unshakable. Security also shapes emotional responses. When someone feels unstable or unsure, their fears and anxieties rise. These emotions can cloud judgment and weaken resolve, but when you embody steadiness, you become the anchor that holds those stormy feelings at bay. Your calm presence reassures and invites openness. This opens pathways for communication, cooperation, and growth that would otherwise be blocked by fear or doubt. Understanding this need allows you to anticipate reactions and prepare your responses accordingly. You learn to recognize when instability threatens to derail progress and how to restore balance quickly. This skill positions you as a leader, not just in moments of ease, but more importantly, in moments of challenge. It is in these times that your influence grows strongest because people turn to those who can provide clarity and calm. But offering stability is not about controlling or limiting others. It is about respecting boundaries, both theirs and your own, and creating a foundation where mutual respect can flourish. This foundation enables deeper connection and greater freedom because it removes the chaos of uncertainty and replaces it with trust. When this trust is established, collaboration becomes effortless and influence becomes natural. Your ability to provide security reflects your own internal strength. The more grounded and confident you are, the more you inspire confidence in others. This dynamic is a powerful cycle. Your stability invites trust, and trust fuels deeper connection and influence. It becomes a source of resilience that carries you and those around you through every challenge. Embrace this truth fully. The need for security is not a weakness to exploit, but a fundamental truth to respect and understand. When you master this, you create a space where influence grows naturally and power is wielded with honor. Your presence becomes a beacon of strength, attracting loyalty and opening doors that force alone cannot. This is the upper hand, the power of being the steady force in a world of uncertainty. Claim it now. Overthinking is a silent enemy, a mental maze that traps many in endless loops of doubt and hesitation. It weighs heavily on the mind, slowing decisions and clouding judgment. For many women, this tendency to analyze every detail and anticipate every outcome stems from a desire to avoid mistakes and maintain control. But when overthinking takes hold, it becomes a barrier to action and growth. Recognizing this pattern is crucial because it reveals where hesitation weakens potential and where decisive strength can break through. The danger of overthinking lies in its power to create paralysis. When you question every choice, every word, every possible consequence, you drain your energy and stall momentum. This cycle fuels fear and self-doubt, convincing you that uncertainty is too risky to face. But true power comes from breaking this cycle. It comes from trusting your instincts and committing to action, even when the outcome is unclear. This leap into decisiveness is the moment where strength is forged and where influence takes root. Understanding this tendency is an opportunity for you to sharpen your edge. When you see hesitation in others, you gain clarity about their inner struggle. This insight lets you approach situations with patience and precision, knowing when to encourage boldness and when to offer reassurance. You learn to lead through example, by embodying decisiveness and clarity that inspires others to follow. Your ability to act confidently becomes a beacon that guides those trapped in overanalysis toward courage. Decisiveness is not about rushing or being reckless. It is about accepting that uncertainty is part of every journey. It is about acknowledging that waiting for perfect conditions will only delay progress and limit success. When you make a choice and commit to it fully, You harness a force that propels you forward. This force breaks barriers and builds momentum. It creates a ripple effect, showing others that fear can be overcome through action and that clarity emerges through commitment. This is the power you hold, the power to move from paralysis to progress. When hesitation tries to slow you down, you rise above it with resolve. You cultivate mental discipline that allows you to separate useful reflection from destructive rumination. This skill empowers you to focus on what truly matters and discard distractions born of doubt. It sharpens your mind and strengthens your will, preparing you to navigate challenges with confidence. By mastering decisiveness, you change not only your own path but the way others perceive and respond to you. People gravitate towards certainty because it offers security and direction. Your clarity becomes a source of inspiration, a silent leadership that commands respect without force. This magnetic presence opens doors and creates opportunities where indecision only closes them. Let this truth settle deep within you. Overthinking is a challenge to overcome, not a permanent state. When you break free from hesitation, you step into your full power. You become the one who acts, who leads, who shapes reality instead of being shaped by doubt. This is the upper hand, the strength that turns mental noise into purposeful action. Own it fully and watch how your life transforms through the power of decisive courage. The hunger for emotional connection is a powerful force that shapes how we relate, how we open ourselves to others, and how we seek belonging. It is a universal need that runs deep in all of us, yet it can sometimes create vulnerabilities that go unnoticed. When this desire becomes too strong or unchecked, it can lead to dependency, blind spots, and compromises that erode self-respect. Recognizing this need for connection as both a source of strength and a potential weakness is essential to gaining mastery in relationships and in life. Connection fuels trust, safety, and intimacy. It's what draws people close and builds the foundation for meaningful partnerships. But when the need for connection overrides boundaries or self-awareness, it can cloud judgment. The fear of loneliness or rejection may cause one to overlook red flags, to give more than is healthy, or to sacrifice personal values for the sake of closeness. Understanding this dynamic helps you see when emotional needs drive decisions, and it prepares you to respond with clarity rather than reaction. Your power lies in balancing this desire for connection with grounded self-leadership. When you approach relationships with a strong sense of self, you invite authentic connection rather than desperate attachment. This balance transforms relationships from fragile dependencies into resilient partnerships. It allows you to connect deeply without losing your voice, to give freely without losing your boundaries, and to love without losing yourself. This balance is a magnetic force. People are naturally drawn to those who offer genuine connection alongside strength. They feel seen, heard, and respected in a way that feels safe and empowering. When you embody this balance, your presence becomes a powerful anchor, one that invites openness without inviting chaos. It builds loyalty because it honors both the need for closeness and the need for autonomy. Recognizing the craving for connection also equips you to avoid the traps of emotional codependence. It allows you to observe when someone leans too heavily on others for validation or support. This awareness gives you the upper hand because you can hold space without losing yourself or enabling unhealthy patterns. You lead by example, demonstrating how to cultivate relationships that uplift and empower rather than drain and control. The ability to foster connection while maintaining independence is a hallmark of emotional intelligence and true leadership. It shows that you understand the dance between closeness and freedom, between vulnerability and strength. When you master this dance, you create a dynamic where influence flows naturally and respect is mutual. This awareness deepens your relationships and expands your personal power. You move from reactive emotions to intentional connections. You stop chasing approval or fearing rejection because your foundation is secure within yourself. This security invites others to rise to their best selves alongside you. Let this insight become your guide. The need for emotional connection is not a weakness to fear, but a force to honor and harness. When balanced with self-respect and clarity, it becomes a source of profound influence and inner strength. This is the upper hand, the power to connect deeply without losing your power. Own it fully and watch how your relationships and your life transform in ways you never imagined possible. Fear of conflict is a quiet but powerful force that shapes countless decisions and interactions. Many avoid confrontation, not because they lack strength, but because they value peace and harmony. This instinct to sidestep conflict often arises from a deep desire to preserve relationships and avoid pain. Yet, this avoidance can lead to unresolved issues, growing resentment, and a loss of respect. Understanding this dynamic gives you an extraordinary advantage. It reveals where true courage is needed, and how facing conflict with calm assertiveness creates lasting influence. Conflict is not the enemy. It is a necessary catalyst for growth, clarity, and transformation. When handled poorly, it can destroy connections. But when approached with courage and wisdom, it becomes the pathway to deeper understanding and stronger bonds. Recognizing that many shy away from conflict allows you to step forward with confidence, turning what others fear into your greatest strength. Your willingness to engage honestly and respectfully commands respect and shifts power in your favor. The ability to face conflict without aggression or fear separates leaders from followers. It requires emotional control and clear intention. When you speak your truth calmly and listen actively, you disarm tension and invite resolution. This presence creates a space where challenges can be addressed without escalation. People are drawn to this steadiness because it promises safety amid disagreement. Your calm courage becomes a beacon that others trust and follow. Avoiding conflict often stems from fear of rejection, loss, or hurting someone else. But true strength lies in embracing discomfort and choosing integrity over convenience. When you confront issues directly, you assert your boundaries and communicate your values. This not only protects your self-respect, but also sets the standard for how others treat you. People learn that your peace is not fragile, but fiercely protected by honest communication. Facing conflict also reveals your emotional resilience. It shows that you can endure discomfort without losing control or shutting down. This resilience inspires others to raise their own standards and fosters mutual respect. When you consistently approach conflict with calm clarity, you become the person who guides difficult conversations toward productive outcomes. This leadership strengthens relationships and deepens trust. Your fearlessness in conflict transforms dynamics. Instead of giving power away to silence or avoidance, you claim your voice and hold space for truth. This act of bravery invites authenticity and transparency, cutting through misunderstandings and hidden resentments. It frees both you and others to engage honestly and openly. This mastery over conflict is a defining edge. It turns potential chaos into opportunity. It elevates your presence and influence because people know you stand firm, not by force, but by unwavering commitment to truth and respect. This balance of courage and empathy creates a magnetic leadership that moves beyond fear and manipulation. Let this understanding root deeply within you. Fear of conflict does not have to weaken your influence. When you face it with calm strength, it becomes a powerful tool for connection and growth. This is your upper hand, the courage to speak boldly, listen deeply, and lead with integrity. Own this power and watch how your world shifts as respect and trust flow effortlessly toward you. Idealism and romantic expectations create a powerful force that often colors perceptions and decisions in profound ways. This yearning for perfect love and flawless relationships is not a weakness in itself, but when left unchecked, it can cloud judgment and set the stage for disappointment. Understanding the influence of idealism is critical because it reveals where hope may blind reality and where clarity must be embraced to maintain strength and control. Romantic ideals fuel dreams of connection and belonging, inspiring people to reach for deeper bonds and lasting intimacy. However, these dreams can create unrealistic expectations, making it easy to overlook imperfections, red flags, or incompatibilities. When ideals overshadow truth, they weaken discernment, opening doors to compromise and emotional vulnerability that can be exploited or lead to personal loss. Recognizing this tendency empowers you to see relationships with sharper clarity and to act with greater wisdom. Strength grows from balancing hope with realism. When you hold a vision of love but remain grounded in the present, you protect yourself from illusions that distort your path. This groundedness becomes a shield that guards your self-worth and guides your choices. It allows you to engage fully and passionately, yet with eyes wide open, aware of challenges, limitations, and truths. This balance transforms idealism from a trap into a source of motivation and healthy aspiration. By embracing this clarity, you become a leader in your relationships. You set standards not based on fantasy, but on mutual respect, growth, and authenticity. This grounded approach commands respect because it demonstrates emotional maturity and self-awareness. People respond to strength that is real, not pretend, and your ability to see clearly positions you to navigate challenges rather than avoid them. Idealism also reveals where emotional investment is highest, showing you where influence is most needed. When others hold on to dreams too tightly, they may resist necessary change or compromise. Your ability to remain clear-headed while honoring their hopes creates a space for honest dialogue and realistic adjustment. This is the power of balanced leadership, holding space for both dreams and reality without collapsing into either extreme. This awareness enhances your emotional intelligence and strategic influence. You learn to read the delicate dance between aspiration and acceptance, between longing and pragmatism. This understanding deepens your connection while strengthening your boundaries. It allows you to engage authentically without losing your center or becoming swept away by idealized illusions. Your power grows as you transform idealism from a source of vulnerability into a tool for wise choice and lasting connection. You stop chasing impossible perfection and start building relationships rooted in truth, respect, and shared growth. This shift frees you from disappointment and frustration, replacing it with confidence and clarity. Let this truth settle deeply within you. Romantic expectations do not have to weaken your influence or cloud your judgment. When balanced with realism and self-awareness, they become a wellspring of motivation and connection. This is your upper hand. The ability to dream boldly while staying grounded, to love fiercely while leading wisely. Own this power fully and watch how your relationships and your life elevate to new heights of strength and authenticity. Social influence is a powerful force that quietly shapes decisions, behaviors, and even beliefs. The need to belong and be accepted by a group is deeply rooted in human nature, and many find themselves guided by peer pressure without even realizing it. This influence is not a sign of weakness, but a natural response to the desire for connection and safety. Understanding how social dynamics work gives you a profound advantage. It reveals how to maintain your independence and think clearly amidst external pressures, empowering you to lead your own path with confidence. When people are swayed by social influence, they often compromise their values or suppress their true selves to fit in. This subtle surrender can erode self-respect and blur boundaries. Recognizing this pattern is key to reclaiming your power. You learn to spot when choices are driven by others' expectations rather than your own convictions. This awareness creates a space for genuine freedom. Freedom to make decisions rooted in your purpose, not in the need for approval or acceptance. Your strength grows as you cultivate independent thinking and resist the pull of conformity. This does not mean rejecting connection or community, but rather engaging with others from a place of authenticity and self-trust. When you lead with your own values and voice, you inspire others to do the same. Your example becomes a beacon of courage in a sea of conformity. People are drawn to those who stand firm in their truth, even when it challenges the status quo. Maintaining independence amidst social influence requires clear boundaries and emotional resilience. You develop the ability to listen without losing yourself, to respect others while honoring your own needs. This balance creates mutual respect rather than resentment. It positions you as a leader who can navigate complex social dynamics with grace and clarity. Your presence becomes a stabilizing force that encourages honest dialogue and authentic connection. This skill strengthens your decision-making. When you are less influenced by external pressures, you make choices that align with your long-term vision and well-being. This alignment fosters confidence and decisiveness because you trust the foundation from which you operate. You no longer feel torn between pleasing others and following your own path. Instead, you move forward with purpose and integrity. Understanding social influence also sharpens your ability to inspire and motivate others. When you communicate from a place of authenticity, your message resonates deeply. You are not pushing conformity, but inviting others to awaken their own voice and power. This creates a ripple effect, expanding influence through genuine leadership rather than coercion or control. Embrace this awareness fully. The pull of social influence is natural, but it does not have to define you. When you master this dynamic, you reclaim your freedom and amplify your impact. Your independence becomes a source of strength that others respect and follow. This is your upper hand. The courage to stand apart while leading with connection, the wisdom to resist pressure while inspiring authenticity. Own this power and watch how your life transforms as you lead boldly on your own terms. Flattery and praise hold a unique power in human interaction, a power that can build bridges or break defenses depending on how it's used. The natural response to recognition taps into deep psychological needs to feel seen, valued, and appreciated. For many, this responsiveness becomes a gateway that opens doors to connection and influence. Understanding this dynamic equips you with a powerful tool, one that, when wielded with sincerity and respect, strengthens bonds and fosters loyalty. People crave genuine acknowledgement because it confirms their worth and validates their efforts. When praise is sincere, it ignites motivation, boosts confidence, and creates a positive atmosphere. This reaction is not a weakness, but a fundamental human truth. Recognizing the impact of authentic appreciation allows you to connect on a deeper level, making others feel truly understood and respected. This connection is the foundation upon which influence is built. Yet flattery without sincerity, empty words meant to manipulate, breeds distrust and damages relationships. This distinction is crucial. To command respect and build lasting influence, your praise must be honest and meaningful. When you offer recognition that reflects real understanding, you cultivate trust and open doors to cooperation. People are drawn to those who see them clearly, not to those who merely seek to gain something. Your power lies in mastering this balance, using appreciation as a bridge rather than a weapon. When you genuinely acknowledge others, you inspire their best selves. This inspires loyalty because it honors their humanity and contributions. You don't just gain influence, you create an environment where respect and collaboration thrive. This dynamic transforms interactions from transactional exchanges into meaningful partnerships. Understanding sensitivity to flattery also sharpens your awareness of your own responses. When praise is given, it's easy to become dependent on external validation. This dependency weakens your inner foundation and makes you vulnerable to manipulation. By building self-worth from within, you maintain emotional independence and clarity. This strength allows you to accept genuine praise with grace and dismiss empty flattery without doubt or offense. This mastery creates a magnetic presence. People naturally gravitate toward those who balance humility with confidence, who give credit without losing themselves. This presence radiates authenticity and respect, qualities that elevate your influence far beyond words. When you recognize and appreciate others sincerely, you build a network of trust that supports your growth and amplifies your impact. Let this insight settle deeply within you. Flattery and praise are not mere social tools, they are reflections of deeper human needs and connections. When used with integrity, they become a powerful force for good, building loyalty, inspiring growth, and strengthening bonds. This is your upper hand, the ability to give and receive appreciation authentically, creating influence rooted in respect and trust. Own this power fully, and watch as your relationships and leadership deepen, fueled by the strength of genuine recognition. Trust is the cornerstone of every meaningful relationship and interaction. It's an invisible thread that holds people together, creating a sense of safety, reliability, and connection. Yet trust is fragile, easily broken, hard to rebuild, and often overlooked in its immense power. Understanding how trust functions gives you an unparalleled advantage. It shows you where influence truly begins and how to cultivate a presence that others naturally gravitate toward and respect. Trust is earned through consistent actions and genuine integrity. It is not something that can be demanded or rushed. When you consistently act with honesty and follow through on your commitments, you build a foundation that others rely on without hesitation. This reliability becomes a magnet, drawing people closer and opening doors that were previously closed. Your words carry weight because they are backed by a track record of truth and dependability. When trust is missing, doubt and suspicion creep in, eroding connections and weakening influence. People hesitate, question motives, and withhold their full selves. This creates distance and misunderstanding, making cooperation difficult or impossible. Recognizing where trust is fragile in your relationships allows you to focus your energy on repair and reinforcement, turning doubt into confidence. Your power grows as you become someone who embodies trustworthiness in every interaction. This means speaking clearly and honestly, even when the truth is difficult. It means honoring your promises, no matter how small, and taking responsibility for your actions. This unwavering commitment to integrity elevates your presence and builds respect organically. People don't just listen to you, they believe in you. Building trust also requires vulnerability, the courage to be open and authentic. This openness invites others to do the same, creating deeper connection and mutual understanding. When you allow yourself to be seen fully, without masks or defenses, you create a safe space where relationships flourish. This safety nurtures collaboration and loyalty that are difficult to break. At the same time, guarding your own trust means setting clear boundaries and protecting your emotional well-being. Not everyone deserves your full trust, and discerning where to invest your confidence is crucial. This wisdom prevents exploitation and preserves your strength. By balancing openness with discernment, you maintain control and avoid unnecessary pain or betrayal. This balance of giving and protecting trust sharpens your emotional intelligence and leadership. You become a person others turn to for guidance and support because your trustworthiness creates security and clarity. Your influence grows not through force or manipulation, but through the quiet power of dependable character. Let this understanding settle deeply. Trust is not just a feeling. It is a skill and a practice that builds influence and connection. When you embody trust, you become unstoppable. This is your upper hand. The ability to create bonds that empower and uplift, the strength to lead with integrity and openness. Own this power fully and watch as your world transforms, anchored in the profound strength of trust. Patience is often overlooked as a strength, dismissed as mere waiting or passivity, yet true patience is a powerful force that requires discipline, emotional control, and vision. It is the ability to endure discomfort without giving in to impulsive reactions or desperation. Understanding the depth of patience transforms your approach to challenges, relationships, and goals. It becomes the quiet power that sustains momentum and builds lasting success. Patience is not passive acceptance. It is active endurance with purpose. It means holding your ground when immediate results seem distant, trusting that consistent effort and calm persistence will yield profound outcomes. This quality distinguishes those who achieve long-term growth from those who falter at the first sign of difficulty. When you cultivate patience, you strengthen your resilience and sharpen your focus. You learn to see setbacks not as failures, but as necessary steps on the path to mastery. This capacity to wait without losing clarity or motivation is rare and valuable. It requires managing emotions, especially frustration and anxiety, which can cloud judgment and lead to hasty decisions. Patience allows you to respond with wisdom instead of reaction, to plan thoughtfully rather than act recklessly. This emotional regulation positions you as a leader who can guide through uncertainty with steady resolve, inspiring confidence in others. When you embody patience, you also honor the natural pace of growth, both in yourself and those around you. You recognize that meaningful change takes time and that pressure often produces resistance rather than progress. This understanding creates an environment where patience becomes a foundation for trust and collaboration. People feel supported rather than rushed, allowing their best selves to emerge in their own time. Patience also gives you control over your narrative and choices. Instead of succumbing to impatience that demands immediate gratification or validation, you align your actions with long-term vision. This alignment fuels sustained effort and builds momentum that cannot be rushed or replicated by shortcuts. Your ability to wait with purpose becomes a source of power, setting you apart from those who chase quick fixes or temporary wins. This strength deepens your self-trust. As you practice patience, you prove to yourself that you can handle discomfort, uncertainty, and delay without losing direction. This self-assurance empowers you to face bigger challenges with calm confidence. You become a person who moves deliberately, choosing actions that serve your highest goals rather than fleeting desires. Let this truth settle within you. Patience is not weakness, but a profound strength. It is the ability to endure with purpose, to sustain effort through adversity, and to trust the process of growth. This is your upper hand, the quiet force that fuels resilience, sharpens focus, and builds lasting influence. Own this power fully, and watch how your life transforms as patience guides you toward extraordinary achievements and deeper fulfillment. Indecisiveness often masquerades as caution, but beneath the surface lies a hesitation that can drain energy and stall progress. This wavering creates a silent barrier between potential and achievement. Recognizing indecisiveness as a common human struggle reveals where clarity and courage are most needed. When you understand how to move beyond hesitation, you unlock a powerful force that propels action and transforms uncertainty into opportunity. Indecisiveness is rooted in fear, fear of making mistakes, fear of judgment, and fear of the unknown. These fears create mental noise that clouds judgment and fragments focus. Instead of trusting intuition or logic, the mind becomes trapped in endless analysis and doubt. This paralysis can lead to missed chances and growing frustration. Yet within this struggle lies a powerful awakening. The moment you choose to act despite uncertainty is the moment you reclaim control and strength. Clarity emerges from commitment. When you decide firmly, you create a psychological momentum that energizes your mind and body. Commitment transforms ambiguity into direction. It narrows focus and ignites confidence. This clarity is magnetic. It influences others and commands respect because it signals resolve and purpose. People are drawn to those who act decisively, recognizing strength in their certainty. Developing decisiveness is a skill rooted in self-awareness and practice. It requires learning to distinguish between useful reflection and destructive rumination. This skill sharpens your ability to evaluate information quickly and trust your judgment. You become less swayed by external pressures or internal doubts. Instead, you anchor decisions in your values and goals, allowing your purpose to guide you through uncertainty. Decisiveness also means embracing imperfection. Waiting for perfect conditions or flawless certainty only delays progress. Real power lies in acting with the information available, adjusting course as needed, and learning from outcomes. This dynamic approach builds resilience and adaptability. It fosters a mindset that values growth over perfection, action over fear, and progress over hesitation. When you master decisiveness, you set a rhythm that sustains momentum. Your actions become intentional and focused, reducing wasted energy and increasing impact. This rhythm builds confidence because each decision, regardless of outcome, strengthens your ability to lead and influence. It creates a cycle of empowerment where clarity feeds action and action fuels clarity. Indecisiveness is not a permanent state, but a challenge to overcome. With awareness and discipline, you transform hesitation into decisive courage. This transformation rewires your mind, replacing doubt with confidence and fear with resolve. You become a force that moves forward steadily, inspiring trust and admiration. Let this truth anchor you deeply. Indecisiveness is a hurdle, not a limitation. When you choose decisiveness, you claim your power to shape your reality and lead your life boldly. This is your upper hand, the ability to break free from hesitation, to act with conviction, and to build a future defined by purpose and strength. Own this power completely, and watch how your path clears and your influence expands with every decisive step you take. Vulnerability is often mistaken for weakness, but it is, in truth, a profound source of strength and connection. To be vulnerable means to expose your true self, your fears, your hopes, your imperfections to others. This exposure takes immense courage because it opens the door to judgment, rejection, and uncertainty. Yet, within this act lies the power to forge deep bonds and to inspire authenticity in those around you. Understanding vulnerability is key to unlocking influence that is genuine and transformative. When you allow yourself to be vulnerable, you break down the walls that separate you from others. This openness invites empathy and trust. People sense authenticity and respond to it with their own honesty and warmth. Vulnerability creates a space where real connection can flourish, one that is built not on superficial appearances but on shared humanity. This connection is the foundation of influence that endures beyond surface-level interactions. The courage to be vulnerable also signals emotional strength. It shows that you are willing to face discomfort and uncertainty without retreating into defense mechanisms or facades. This willingness inspires respect because it reveals integrity and resilience. People are drawn to those who can be honest about their struggles without losing hope or purpose. Your vulnerability becomes a beacon that encourages others to embrace their own truth. However, vulnerability requires discernment. It is not about oversharing or seeking sympathy. True vulnerability is measured and purposeful. It is the choice to reveal parts of yourself that foster connection and growth. This balance protects your boundaries while inviting openness. It transforms potential exposure into empowerment because you control what and how much you share. Mastering vulnerability enhances your emotional intelligence. You become attuned to the signals of others, recognizing when openness is safe and when caution is needed. This awareness deepens your relationships, allowing you to navigate complexities with empathy and strength. It positions you as a leader who can foster trust and collaboration even in difficult circumstances. Vulnerability also fuels creativity and innovation. When you shed the fear of judgment, you free yourself to explore new ideas, take risks, and learn from failures. This freedom cultivates growth and adaptability, qualities essential for success in any area of life. Your willingness to be vulnerable transforms challenges into opportunities for breakthrough. By embracing vulnerability, you transform influence from control into connection. This shift elevates your presence and impact because it is rooted in authenticity rather than manipulation. Your relationships become richer, your leadership stronger, and your life more fulfilling. Let this truth resonate within you. Vulnerability is not a weakness, but the gateway to true power. When you choose to be open with courage and wisdom, you create bonds that inspire, lead, and transform. This is your upper hand, the strength to be real, to connect deeply, and to lead with heart. Own this power fully and watch as your influence grows, grounded in the extraordinary strength of vulnerability. Self-doubt is a quiet thief that steals confidence and clouds potential. It whispers questions that undermine your worth and abilities, creating barriers where there should be breakthroughs. Yet, this inner voice is not an unchangeable truth, but a challenge to overcome. Understanding the roots and effects of self-doubt gives you the power to silence it and reclaim your rightful place as a confident, capable individual who moves boldly toward their goals. Self-doubt often emerges from fear of failure, rejection, or not measuring up. These fears create a mental fog that distorts reality and magnifies flaws. Instead of seeing your true strengths, you focus on weaknesses or past mistakes. This distortion limits action and stifles growth. Recognizing this pattern is the first step toward breaking free. You begin to see self-doubt not as a reflection of reality, but as a voice fueled by fear, which you can challenge and change. Strength grows as you build self-awareness and question the validity of self-doubt. When negative thoughts arise, examine them critically. Are they based on facts, or are they assumptions driven by fear and insecurity? This mental shift turns self-doubt into a tool for reflection rather than a sentence of limitation. It allows you to learn from challenges without being defined by them, to grow without being held back by internal criticism. Building confidence also requires action. Self-doubt often fades when you take deliberate steps toward your goals, even small ones. Action creates evidence that counters negative beliefs. Each accomplishment, no matter how minor, becomes a building block for greater assurance. This cycle of doing and succeeding rewires your mind to expect success instead of failure, turning hesitation into momentum. Resilience is a key component of overcoming self-doubt. When setbacks occur, they no longer trigger a spiral of negativity, but become opportunities for learning and growth. This resilience comes from cultivating a mindset that views challenges as temporary and surmountable. It shifts focus from fear of failure to curiosity about possibilities, empowering you to keep moving forward with courage. Self-doubt also diminishes when you cultivate self-compassion. Being kind and patient with yourself softens the harsh inner critic. It creates a supportive inner dialogue that encourages rather than condemns. This compassion nurtures your emotional well-being and strengthens your ability to face difficulties with grace and determination. Mastering self-doubt enhances your presence and influence. Confidence born from self-awareness and action inspires trust and respect. When you show up with belief in yourself, others believe in you too. This ripple effect magnifies your impact and opens doors that hesitation keeps closed. Let this truth embed deeply within you. Self-doubt is not a verdict, but a challenge to rise above. When you confront it with awareness, action, resilience, and compassion, you reclaim your power to lead and create. This is your upper hand, the courage to silence inner critics, the strength to move boldly despite fear. Own this power fully and watch as your confidence soars and your influence expands, fueled by the unstoppable force of self-belief. Perfectionism often masquerades as a pursuit of excellence, but beneath its polished surface lies a trap that can stifle growth and drain energy. The relentless drive to meet impossible standards creates pressure, anxiety, and fear of failure. This struggle is not a sign of strength, but a vulnerability that many carry silently. Recognizing perfectionism's true nature empowers you to transform it from a burden into a balanced pursuit of progress and self-acceptance. Perfectionism feeds on fear. the fear that anything less than flawless will lead to rejection, disappointment, or inadequacy. This fear drives you to overwork, overthink, and overcorrect, often leading to burnout and paralysis. Instead of embracing imperfection as a natural part of growth, perfectionism magnifies flaws and magnifies self-criticism. This cycle limits creativity, decision-making, and action because the cost of failure feels too high. True strength lies in shifting from perfectionism to purposeful progress. This means setting realistic goals and embracing the process of improvement rather than fixating on flawless outcomes. Progress is fueled by effort and learning, not by an unattainable ideal. When you focus on growth instead of perfection, you release the heavy weight of unrealistic expectations. This freedom ignites creativity, resilience, and joy. Letting go of perfectionism requires self-compassion. It means treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a friend. This compassion softens the harsh inner critic and creates space for mistakes as opportunities, not failures. When you nurture yourself this way, you build emotional resilience and foster a mindset open to exploration and risk-taking. Balancing ambition with acceptance also sharpens your focus. Perfectionism scatters energy by demanding everything be perfect all at once. Purposeful progress channels energy into focused actions that move you forward step by step. This focused momentum builds confidence and creates a positive feedback loop. Each small success reinforces your belief in your abilities and reduces fear of imperfection. This balance transforms your presence and influence. When you show up as someone who pursues excellence without being paralyzed by perfection, you inspire others to do the same. Your authenticity and courage to be imperfect create a safe space for collaboration and innovation. People are drawn to leaders who embrace humanity rather than hiding behind unrealistic standards. Perfectionism also dims when you redefine success. Instead of equating success with flawless results, you align it with growth, learning, and persistence. This new definition frees you from fear and opens doors to possibilities that perfectionism blocks. It empowers you to take bold actions, learn from setbacks, and continue evolving without shame or regret. Let this truth settle deeply. Perfectionism is a challenge to overcome, not a badge to wear. When you choose progress over perfection, compassion over criticism, and purpose over pressure, you reclaim your power to create and lead. This is your upper hand, the strength to move forward with courage and grace, embracing imperfection as the path to greatness. Own this power fully and watch your confidence soar as your influence grows through genuine, fearless action. Comparison is a silent thief that steals joy and breeds insecurity. It traps the mind in a cycle of measuring self-worth against others, creating a landscape where confidence withers and dissatisfaction grows. This habit is deeply human, yet profoundly limiting. Understanding the damaging power of comparison is essential to reclaiming your confidence and unlocking your full potential. When you compare yourself to others, you focus on perceived shortcomings rather than your unique strengths. This perspective narrows your vision, reducing the vast possibilities within you to a limited frame defined by others' achievements. Comparison feeds the false narrative that you are less, not enough, or falling behind. These beliefs create emotional pain and can paralyze action, keeping you stuck in cycles of doubt and envy. True freedom begins when you shift your focus inward, recognizing your inherent value independent of external benchmarks. Your worth is not determined by how you stack up against others, but by the unique qualities and contributions only you can bring to the world. This realization creates a foundation of self-respect and inner peace that cannot be shaken by outside comparisons. This shift requires cultivating self-awareness and gratitude. When you become conscious of your patterns of comparison, you gain the power to redirect your thoughts. Instead of measuring yourself against others, you celebrate your progress, efforts, and growth. Gratitude for what you have and who you are strengthens your emotional resilience, transforming envy into appreciation and motivation.